Welcome back to the Brennan C. Adams audio experience. I'm Brennan C. Adams, and today I'm sitting here with Manuel Aragon. He is the founder and CEO of Aragon Tax Return Services, a modern tax preparation, planning, and financial consulting firm servicing clients across the United States with transparent, tailored solutions. With deep expertise in tax strategy, accounting, and cash planning, Manuel combines technical precision with personal care to help individuals and small businesses simplify their finances and maximize returns. Manuel, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you,
Taxes. I'm thinking about this. We're getting into tax season, which, man, it is always something every time of year. I got to ask, what's the biggest mistake people make when doing their taxes?
Pushing it off.
Or not paying taxes.
Yeah, that's the reality is I think letting the problem get to the point where it feels so overwhelming when it's probably a simple.
Yeah. You know what blows my mind? I think about it. There's people, and I know you know this, but that haven't paid or filed taxes in 3 to 5 years. And I think to myself, how are you not in prison?
Right.
Like a Wesley Snipes, I think, went to prison for that. There's other actors out there that never paid taxes, went to prison. And I'm like, that would be overwhelming for me. Mm-hmm. And staying on top of it, getting a professional like yourself to make sure they're on top of it. I mean, why do you think people just push it off?
Procrastination. I think it's fear.
Yeah.
Fear is one thing where they may say, I made X amount of money last year. I'm going to have a huge
So they're
burden.
afraid what's to come. They're afraid of the tax bill. Uncle Sam's coming to get his cut.
Or many people operate under the assumption I got to cut a check right now.
Yeah.
There's other alternatives, payment plans, extensions, yes, interest applies, but it doesn't always have to be right out the gate.
Okay, when taxes, I want to start from the beginning. Why taxes? How did you get in this industry? Where did it start? Where did you begin?
Naturally a math guy. Love numbers.
I've always loved math too.
Used to count stop signs walking home. So always good at math. My initial background is accounting. So it was a project my last year in school, and our instructor said, "What do you want to do going from here?"
Yeah.
So I sat down at home, said, "Okay, well, what's going to be here for life? Taxes. There's always going to be a need for services, taxes." So I was like, it was an opportunity to make some side money. I started this as a side hustle. It was initially 90 days a year, the first decade.
Yeah.
Always worked
as
a day
side
job.
hustle.
Yeah. Always worked a day job, but every year the firm grew. I went from 50 clients to 75.
Yeah.
Always just adding. I didn't really do any marketing until about a decade in. And just over the last 3 years or so, it's just outgrown my personal capacity. So I brought in staff, just continue to educate myself to the point I've filed returns in about 27 states now. The goal is to get to all 50 and just continue.
You have over 600 people you file for, is that right?
Correct.
And your goal is to have 2,000 in the next
By
year?
next year, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Like, I can't even fathom that much. I mean, I hate just doing taxes myself.
All right. Well, and that's with current team. I think we have capacity to do more, but my goal is to focus on quality and not quantity.
Yeah.
I don't want to mass produce and not
You want to get the right people.
and lose that quality of the personal approach either.
Was entrepreneurship and business in your family background, or what made you end up becoming an
I think my
entrepreneur?
dad installed a great work ethic in me. He always worked 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I think the difference between my mindset and maybe I'll probably make him laugh is I want to not work in the labor side of it.
Yeah.
Where he's construction, beat his body up a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to work smarter and not harder is the piece that I've learned. So I think that's important to me, is to build something to where my son can understand there's these labor opportunities, but it doesn't have to always be that way.
Yeah. What was you said you had for side hustle first. What was your day job?
So currently I own a distribution company as well, in addition to the tax business, but I started in manufacturing space doing accounting, payroll, different stuff that led to an operations job, CFO, different roles within a larger company.
Yeah.
The firm was growing so fast, I was at a fork in the road and said, I got to either go this way and grow this. And they actually offered an opportunity for me to buy the company. So now I'm doing both.
Look at you.
So
I love it. Well, you think of business, and anytime like we acquire a business or we partner, the number one thing I look at is numbers.
Right.
I look at their financials, and you can read a lot about a business, where it's at based on their financials. What are they spending? Where's money going, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And having that background yourself can help looking at any business.
Right.
I mean, what were you going to say? Go.
I think while there's 2 hats I think we all wear, one is the worker hat, one is the investor hat.
Yeah.
where I think we all look at business different, where when you're on the worker side, you're punching a clock and saying, okay, I got to work X amount of hours to take a paycheck home. Whereas the investors, we're looking at different KPIs. We're saying, where can we take this thing in a year, 3 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
possible exit strategies. So being on both sides of that table, it's taught me to look at business,
And that's
and
the
all
thing
this.
we deal with a lot. I mean, whether you're raising capital and okay, how do you allocate that capital for growth? Projection sometimes it can be tough because it's okay, you're making predictions and things always are different. You always need more money you expect, and also things take longer than you expect. I mean, what would be your this just coming to me like because all of our portfolio companies, what's your best advice when somebody is actually looking at making projections for a business because they're raising capital?
Be conservative.
Be conservative.
Don't
Under
go
promise, over deliver.
Right, exactly. And that I think that's just the biggest piece is always plan for the worst.
Yeah.
Because the way the economy is going, we could always say, I'm going to do X amount of numbers. But I think that's the biggest thing in business is I approach things conservatively, especially with tax clients to say we could project X number next year, but I build cushion.
Other thing, as an investor myself and work with many investors, I always say is, okay, whatever you think it's going to take, it usually takes double.
Right.
It always takes more. So you got to plan for that. And I do like that on the conservative side because I hate it when people will pitch me and show projections and like I get it. I'm a very positive person too. We're going to do this. But when they're saying big numbers, I'd rather have it be more conservative and realistic versus like, okay,
And then you blow the budget.
missed it. Yeah, exactly.
That I think it goes both. I'd rather be conservative and beat the numbers than over project and under deliver, and then we have a table of disappointed people.
What are 2 or 3 things that most people don't even realize they could do to save money on their taxes?
I think strategy is one. I have so many clients who don't make quarterly estimated payments, which costs them a lot.
So they just do one payment at the end?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, probably 70% of entrepreneurs I interact with do not pay quarterlies, which is something that can save you interest and penalties. Even if it's, a couple $1,000 you're saving a year, it's couple $1,000.
Hey, it's all money.
Yeah, you're not putting in your pocket. Second would be ask questions. I think that fear aspect of it is we have to educate ourselves and understand where our money's going and why.
Yeah.
And third is surround yourself with people who know more than you. My analogy is, if I want to learn how to push a broom, I'm going to the janitor. If I want to network, I'm going to guys who network better than me. If I want to learn how to speak on stage, I'm going to go find people who do that stuff and educate myself. So that's my advice to anyone who wants to grow is find someone who does something you're trying to do better than you and learn from them.
It just made me think. It was like 11 days before my wedding, and I got a call from my CPA at the time, and she said, "Brandon, are you sitting down?" I said, "Why?" "Well, we had to do an amendment from 3 years ago, and you owe," it was like $30,000 now. And I'm like, what? and then that year was a financial crisis for me. I almost went bankrupt, but I ended up firing that CPA and got a new one. But I'll never forget because I even did my own like kind of bookkeeping and stuff. I knew to myself, I needed to hold myself accountable. I found an expert like yourself. I hired the financial planning. I hired the bookkeeper and the CPA. So then I even said to them, you need to hold me accountable to this, which everything was planned time, everything was taken care of, is the best thing you ever did. And most people think, I can't spend this money on this. It's like, you can't afford not to.
Right.
Because if you put it in your own hands, for most people, it's not going to go how it's supposed to, and you're going to pay more in taxes and put yourself in a crisis.
Right. And that's a good point, though, where as I've grown over the last 5 or 6 years, I initially started my company just doing tax prep. So it was in and out once a year, see you next year, where, to what you just said, the implementation piece of it is where we've expanded the firm to help more people, because it's easy to give somebody a tax plan. They go home, it sits on the dresser, and they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Whereas we also offer the support where we'll implement the plan for you.
Yeah.
Come in and meet with you monthly, quarterly, as I'll be as hands-on as you need me, but that's up to you as a client to say, I need your services, this much. And, I think the results show in itself for the clients we do that for. Mm-hmm. And everyone's not at that scale, but once you reach certain levels of business, you need that added support.
So let's switch gears. I want to talk on the personal side. So you're a father.
Yes.
How has that influenced how you are as a leader, a businessman?
I love being a father. I think it's taught me patience for sure. I was always such a structured person. I'm going to bed at 9 with kids. That never happens. It's influenced me just to step out of my comfort zone. I look at my son, and it's pushed me into places I never envisioned myself. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Public speaking, writing a book. I don't think I would have ever done that without being a father. I think it's taught me to think longevity and legacy now, being a father, as opposed to before being a father. I don't know, materialistic's the right word, but I was, chasing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What do you want a legacy to be for yourself? Looking back in the future, or looking up into the future, looking back, what's the legacy going to be of you?
I want to be remembered as somebody who cared about more than myself and what I have in the bank account.
Yeah.
I think, inspiring others to know that you can start where I started. My personal story is a testament to, I think, faith, resilience, determination, to trust what's in your heart and just keep going. I don't think my final chapters are written yet, but I think I'm building towards something that's going to make an impact.
Such good what you said there. Faith is a key component to success, whatever your faith is and belief. I think having faith in something, but also we had Brian Will on earlier, and he's made millions, but he says about your happiness after the millions, because money alone won't make you happy. Now, money does provide a lot of opportunity, but it's having happiness in how you spend your time.
Right.
And the money will come. Don't get me wrong.
Money's a tool. I
It's
think
a
we all
tool.
learned
It's a
that
resource,
through
it's
the
a
people.
tool.
And it allows you to chase what you're passionate about, but it can't be the be-all, end-all.
Yeah,
There's so much more to life than making money.
100%. So where can people find you if they want to work with you?
www.aragontaxreturnservices.com. Also on Google. My social media handles are all listed on the website, and I'll be out and about doing speaking engagement, stuff like that. So I'll try to get it out there as much as I can.
Well, you're on podcast shows now. You're speaking. Before we wrap the show, I always ask this question: what's your best advice for entrepreneurs and people out there to have success?
Have faith and believe in yourself. Just go for it. You have to start somewhere. Even if it's just the smallest thing, we're writing a goal on your fridge. It's effort, and effort leads to results.
Start somewhere, start now. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Thank you.